Hi guys, I'm Tyler, and welcome to another episode of my Christian Music Week reviews. Each week I take 5 releases, albums, EPs, or singles, and after having listened to them all week, I come back here and I review them. I share what I think about them. So without further ado, what's this week's first release? Justin Bieber's new single featuring Chance the Rapper, Holy. Justin Bieber's new single featuring Chance the Rapper has piano and bass in it and some gospel choir, so definitely some gospel elements here and some hip hop elements for sure. And also, Chance the Rapper does a good job rapping on this track as well. And as for the lyrics here, Justin Bieber uses spiritual terminology to describe how he loves the way that how the way his wife holds him feels so holy, and also like Chance's adding in about how the need to love his wife the way that God wants him to. Up next, Fit for a King's new album, The Path. Fit for a King's new album, The Path. Pretty heavy overall here. All the songs on here are heavy. It does lighten up at some points during Prophet, but even that song is pretty heavy. It's just lighter in comparison to the other track. There's screaming, screaming, and singing here. Some good parts on the sound. It could be a little overwhelming with the whole album being this heavy out. But overall, a lot of good parts on this album, I would say. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here. Talks about how with God's help we can break free from the chains that hold us back and the war inside our heads. And also a couple songs too touch on God's judgment as well. Up next, Austin French's new EP, Wake Up Sleeper. Austin French's new EP, Wake Up Sleeper. Let's talk about it. So, we have on here piano, guitar, bass, drum, and we also have violin at a couple points too. He even raps a little bit on one song, and in the song that he raps on Jesus Can, there's also a gospel choir on here. And as for the lyric, oh, before I move on, about the sound, I would say the first listen, it was okay, but wasn't really my favorite. But by the second listen, it did grow on me a little more. I would say it's not as good as his first album, but overall, pretty good once it grew on me, I would say, in its own way. And as for the lyrics here, talks about how Jesus can turn a life around from death to life. Up next, some of the Slumbers, second part of their album, Unseen the Lamb EP. Some of the Slumbers, second part of their album, Unseen the Lamb. Oh, and by the way, I reviewed the first part of this album, Unseen the Lion, on this channel as well, so go and check it out after you're done watching my review on the second part if you didn't check it out already. Well, let's talk about the second part of the album today, Unseen the Lamb. Overall, definitely got a layer feel to it, I would say. Definitely got got worship feel to it quite a bit. I mean, there's some rock feel to it too, but it's not really as heavy, I would say, as a few songs on the first part were. However, the guitar riffs on What a Beautiful Name could come in pretty strongly. Also, add parts of Waymaker. Unseen, the title track kind of has a pop feel to it, I would say. Pretty good album here between the two parts, though. And as for the lyrics here, on this part, I'm going to talk about the lyrics of this part here, in this particular video. They touch on a few different themes. They talk about God working even when it's hard to see, and talks about God's glory being revealed and praising him for it in his in how he creates, and also how he pursues us and saves us. Up next, our last release for today, Dee-1 and Murs collaborative album. Dee-1 and Murs' new album, He's the Christian, I'm the Rapper. Let's talk about it. So, definitely a good sound here overall. Here we have guitar, here we have bass, drums, synthesizer, piano. You have some singing, but one of my favorite things about this whole album. Oh yeah, we have a lot of horns on here too, by the way. One of my favorite, but anyhow, one of my favorite things about this album is the rapping. It really hits hard on this album. Just love that about this album. Also, Dee-1's style on this album kind of reminds me of Lecrae's Church Close 2 mixtape. Made me think of that. And as for the lyrics here, I would say the overriding theme here is following God's way as the best way to go over what the hip hop culture tells you to do. Also, too, a couple more specific themes here, too, talks about relationships with girls during some songs, and also talks about not judging by skin color in a couple of the songs, too. So, some very good topics discussed here on this album. Great album overall. Really enjoyed it. Well, that's it for this week. Come back next week for 5 more releases. If you like what you saw in this video, please subscribe. Also, have any thoughts on this week's releases, let me know that in the comments below. Also, if there's anything from today that you want me to review, let me know in next week's video. Let me know that in the comments below too. Also, check out my playlist section for the My Music Muffin Streams playlist. Gonna be updating it on Thursday with the most streamed songs from my streaming stations from the month of September. So please do check it out on Thursday, especially when it's updated. Hope you enjoy finding out what I stream when I'm not working on videos. Well, I'll go now. See you next week. Bye.